Hey, 7th grade. This is your math lesson for Wednesday, April the 8th. Lesson 143 and 144, the odds are due on Wednesday. That is the assignment that I want you to hand in with your weekend work, your tests, quizzes, whatever you hand in on the weekend, and I will grade that. And I will remind you of this on Friday. Friday, always check out the announcement video. It will tell you what stuff to bring. So we're not going to look at lessons 143 and 144 now. Those are the ones that I want you to hand in. So check over them. Do it accurately. Make sure you do it well so that you can get a good grade on that. Okay, so you may go over it again. Even now that you know, check it out. Make sure you do 143, 144, the odds well. Lesson 145 is due on Thursday, April 9th, and that is what we're going to look at just a little bit. In fact, what we're going to do is we are going to look at and review everything that we know and that we have about signed numbers. Whenever you do the signed numbers, make sure, write the equation. Please write the equation. I don't know if you've been doing this or not, but you need to. Okay, write the equation. So put your positive number, negative number, and always put your sign in the answer, positive or negative. Okay, we know that unsigned numbers are assumed to be positive, but please, when you're specifically working with signed numbers, put all the signs in. Put the signs in the equation, put the signs in the answer. So today's lesson, or the lesson that is due on Thursday, 145, has to do with quotients. All right, it has to do with division. And so we're just going to talk about dividing, multiplying, and adding signed numbers. I have a lot of information on the board, and I will step aside and make sure that you can see all of it then. Again, remember that the equations, they don't have, well, with the quotients, they'll have a division problem like this. But just be thinking about the language. Quotient means divide. Okay, so if you have a section where it says, write the quotients or give the quotients for these, that means you're dividing and giving the answer. So, quotients. In multiplication, the hint word is products. That means you're multiplying. They do not put the multiplication symbol in the equation, as you can see. They don't have negative 11 times negative 9. So you have to pay attention to the directions. If it says give the products, then you're multiplying. And the same thing is true with addition. If it says give the sum, then you're adding. So pay attention to all the directions of all the sections, because sometimes you'll be adding, sometimes it'll say sum, sometimes it'll say product, sometimes it'll say quotient. So please pay attention to those key words, all right? With quotients, now see if you can follow along here. If you have two signs that are same in the equation, so if you have a negative and a positive and a positive, your answer is going to be a positive. You divide and your answer is going to be a positive. Okay, for example, negative 15 divided by negative 3. You go 15 divided by 3. Since the signs are the same, it doesn't matter if they're negative. If the signs are the same, the answer is a positive. Negative 15 divided by negative 3 is positive 5. Okay, here you have two positives. Positive 100 divided by positive 10 is again positive 10. If the numbers are the same, two negatives or two positives, your answer is always positive. Okay, don't let that mess you up. Don't think, well, there's two negatives, it must be a negative. No, signs are the same, they are positive. If your signs are different with division, if you have a positive and a negative, your answer is always negative. Always. So positive, that's what this means here. You have different signs, negative, positive equals a negative. Okay, when you're working with division. So you have positive 24 divided by negative 4. Just go 24 divided by 4 is 6. And because you have two different signs, it is negative 6. Same thing here. It doesn't matter where the sign is, top or bottom. Negative 56 divided by positive 8 is negative 7. Two different signs, negative. Two same signs, positive answer. That same thing is true for multiplication. Okay, the way you use the signs and how that affects the answer is exactly the same for multiplication. Okay, so I have that here. Same as division. So if you see product, you're multiplying. Negative 11 times negative 9. 11 times 9 is 99. Because your signs are the same, it doesn't matter that it's negative because the signs are the same, your answer is positive. All right? Same thing here. 6 times 2, positive 6 times positive 2 is positive 12. Same signs, positive. Same signs, positive. Okay? Different signs, negative. Whoop. Different signs, chair in the way. Negative, positive 5 times negative 7. Simply 5 times 7 is 35. Signs are different, negative 35. Negative 8 times positive 9. 8 times 9, 72. Different signs, it's negative. So the rules of your signs for dividing and multiplying are the same. All right, over here, sum, if you see give the sum, that means you're adding. The sum is the answer to an addition problem. All right? If you have two positives or two negatives, you add the absolute value, you add the two numbers, and keep whatever sign is in the equation. So here you have two positives. Positive 6 plus positive 5 equals positive 11. Negative 15 plus negative 10 equals negative 25. So if the sign is the same, it stays the same. You just add, and it stays the same in the answer. Add, positive, positive, positive. Now, if you are adding two different signs, if you have a negative and a positive, you subtract the absolute value. Remember what absolute value is? Absolute value is simply the value without the signs. So the absolute value of positive 5 is 5. The absolute value of negative 15 is 15. So if your signs are different, when you're looking for a sum, if the signs are different, you subtract the absolute value and put the sign of the largest absolute value that's in the equation with the sum. All right, now here's the example. Don't let this mess you up, okay? It's not that complicated. Negative 19, and you're trying to find the sum of negative 19 and positive 10. Subtract the absolute value. 19 minus 10 is 9. Then put the sign of the largest absolute value. So 19 is larger than 10. Put the negative sign in the answer. 19 minus 10 and the sign of the largest number. Same thing over here. It doesn't matter if the number's on top or bottom, the big number's on top or bottom. Subtract the absolute value. 17 minus 5. 17 minus 5 is 12. The plus sign is with the larger absolute value, so it is positive 12. Okay? 17 minus 5, if the signs are different, equals 12. And put the plus sign because it's with the bigger number. All right? And that is a review of the signs. I will step aside just to give you a little longer look at the board. Go back. If you are confused by this, if you're getting these wrong, then go back and watch this video. Okay? Watch it again and again until you have it. All right? The video will be labeled April the 8th. April the 8th, lesson 145 is what this will be labeled. All right? I hope that I'm doing enough to help you learn. One of the things I thought about and one of the 6th graders reminded me about is if I teach like this, we don't get to go down bunny trails, right? We don't get to, a certain word comes up or something and it reminds me of my childhood, and so we go back on memory lane and hear stories about way back in the good old days when Mr. Lauren was a young boy. All right? Things like that. Yes, I tend to try to keep it as efficient as possible so that the videos don't become endlessly long, all right? But I do understand, and I thought about that, that means that it will not be as interesting, all right? And believe me, for me, it is not as interesting either. I would much rather have you sitting here. There are certain distractions that aren't here if you're not here. But I would welcome you back with all your distractions and imperfections and things like that, because I like it a lot better if you're here. Okay, I miss you. So yeah, there are not a lot of bunny trails. We have a bunny trail about bunny trails now, and that's going to be about as many bunny trails as you get. You may have noticed that I just started posting last weekend. I guess I just this past weekend I started doing a story time with Ellie, where I record me reading to Ellie and then post it. And I will do a number of that. I will probably post one of those this evening. So just keep your eyes open for those videos. I read from James Herriot, and I may read just a random, more picture book here or there. So if you want a little bit of lightness to your education, make sure you watch those stories. All right, until tomorrow.